Greetings, everybody, and once again, welcome into Hobart-Detter Field in Hutchinson, Kansas. This time for Hutchinson Community College Baseball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. This afternoon, the number 7 ranked Hutchinson Blue Dragons start up the Jayhawk West season for 2018 in the first of a 4-game series with the Colby Trojans. Steve Carpenter with you on a clear, bright, somewhat chilly afternoon here in Hutchinson, but considering that before Tuesday, it was almost 2 weeks before the Blue Dragons had played, this is absolutely perfect weather for the first day of March. Blue Dragons and the Trojans, as well as all 9 Jayhawk West teams, actually 8 of them, get started in conference play today. A new format this year with the conference series. In the past, they would play Saturday, Sunday, back-to-back doubleheaders, 7-inning game followed by a 9-inning game. The league decided to switch that up a little bit this year. They go to a Thursday, Saturday, and alternate the sites. So on Saturday, these two teams will finish out their 4-game set in Colby. Expect the pitching to be better, especially in Game 4s. Ryan Schmidt and I have that discussion coming up momentarily in our pregame chat with the Blue Dragon skipper. Starter for game number 1 for the Blue Dragons will be freshman Mason Palmier. He's 1-0. He'll be opposed by right-handed sophomore Bryce Frazier for Colby. He is 1-1. When we return, we will speak with the skipper of the Blue Dragons, Ryan Schmidt. It's the Blue Dragons and the Trojans, game 1 of a 4-game series. Game 1 of a doubleheader here this afternoon from Hobart-Detter Field. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. Everybody, Steve Carpenter speaking with the skipper of the Blue Dragons, Ryan Schmidt, before the conference opener with the Colby Trojans. Got to ask you.
You have one missed call from 317-313-8115 at 12:43.
Schmitty, new conference. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field, everybody. Steve Carpenter speaking with the skipper of the Blue Dragons, Ryan Schmidt, before the conference opener with the Colby Trojans. Got to ask you, Schmitty, new conference format this year. Thursday, the doubleheader here. Then you guys travel to Colby actually tomorrow to play Saturday. A lot of benefits to it, but your thoughts?
It's something that I am really looking forward to. It's something that the majority of the coaches in the West were voted for and got passed legislatively. I think it's going to make it better baseball. I think it's going to be easier on our guys. Last year when we were playing a Saturday doubleheader and a Sunday doubleheader, usually if you look at the games from on Sunday, the scores were really close or really low scoring, or they were like football scores, and there was never any in between. So your teams were gassed or they were still clicking on all cylinders and they crashed later. But it's a change that I think is going to bring our brand of baseball up, and I think the day in between is going to help shore up some bullpens, and I think it's just going to make this conference overall even more competitive.
So you come off a couple of wins Tuesday against a very good Redlands team. They were undefeated coming in. Your thoughts coming out of that doubleheader, actually getting to play for the first time in almost 2 weeks?
I think that's the big thing. We needed to play, and it had been so long since we played. It felt like we were brand new out there again, and so you're learning more things about your team. You're learning more things about positions. You're learning more things about your lineup, and you're trying to squeeze so many at-bats in between the start of conference play. And so I was really happy with the way that we played defense for the most part. I was really happy with the way that we pitched it outside of like 3 innings, and I was really happy with the way that we're swinging the bats. Is there some execution things that we can clean up? Yes, but I think for the most part, I think we were hitting on a lot of our cylinders the other night, which hopefully is going to give us a good rhythm going into today's contest.
Speaking with Ryan Schmidt before this afternoon's doubleheader with Colby, what's your biggest apprehension? 9 games going into the conference, and again, a very uneven schedule in terms of consistent play. What's your biggest worry going into this conference opener?
I don't have a lot of worries offensively. We're an aggressive team and likes to go get after it, and so I know that aggressiveness is going to be there. The execution on defense is something that is probably what I'm most apprehensive about. When we look at some of the plays in the game the other day, we didn't turn a double play. That's a big thing for us. We need to turn double plays, and we didn't get that double play turn the other night. And there's a few spots where we didn't play catch. But I think as you're breaking in a new young infield, and you got a team like Colby that's going to pressure you and make sure that you play catch, I think that's probably what I'm going to be double checking going into today's contest.
One of college baseball coaches' favorite questions to field is the weekend rotation. Again, with the new format and everything, it's a little bit different. But what are you looking at rotation-wise, and especially for today?
We're going to go with Mason Palmier in Game 1. He transferred into our program and has really looked really good so far. He's an upper 80s, low 90s guy with a really good breaking ball and just as a bulldog out there. And so I think he's going to go out and set the tone in Game 1. And we've got Wyatt Divis starting in Game 2, who's that strike pumping guy that hopefully if Mason can punch him in the mouth to begin with, Wyatt's going to be there being as consistent as he can be, pounding at the strike zone and getting the ball rolling and hopefully having short defensive innings so we can get in there and hit. For the rest of the weekend, that's when we'll go with Miguel Reyes and Mike Brown to start.
All right, best of luck. We will talk to you again very soon.
Thank you very much.
The thoughts of HCC head coach Ryan Schmidt back with the starting lineup for this afternoon's first pitch. This is Blue Dragon Baseball.
Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field, everybody. Steve Carpenter with you. Ryan Schmidt, the Blue Dragon head coach, and Ryan Carter of Colby, now talking with the umpires. Let's get to the starting lineups for game number 1 of this Jayhawk West opener. First for the Colby Trojans, coming in with a record of 4-6. Josh Diggins will lead it off for the Trojans to play center field. He'll be followed by the designated hitter, Jacob Buzai. Batting third will be the second baseman, Enoch Perez. In the cleanup spot and playing third base, Matt Kootenai. Batting fifth and playing left field, Alex Arenchuk. Batting sixth, and in right field, Andy Leader. First baseman Adam Cook will bat seventh for the Trojans. The catcher, Cameron Tillery, bats eighth. And shortstop Riley Humringhouse rounds out the Colby lineup. He is the shortstop batting ninth. Bryce Pitcher, a 1-1, a sophomore right-hander, gets the start for Ryan Carter in game number 1. So for the Trojans, it's Diggins in center, Busai the designated hitter, Perez at second base, Kootenai at third, Arenchuk the left fielder, Leader in right field, Cook at first base, Tilley the catcher, Humringhouse at short, and Bryce Frazier the pitcher. For the number 7 ranked Blue Dragons, coming in 6-3, coming off a Tuesday sweep of previously undefeated Redlands, sophomore Wyatt Divis will lead it off for Hutchinson and play left field. Logan Sartori will be the designated hitter. The freshman injured a finger while bunting on Tuesday, but he can still swing a bat, so he's hitting in the 2 spot as the designated hitter. Bobby Morganson, a couple of home runs on Tuesday, bats third and plays right field. Zach Baxley gets the start at first base. The freshman bats cleanup. Ryan Moritz will be at shortstop, batting fifth for Hutchinson. Sophomore catcher Garrett Stevens bats sixth. Zion Bolin playing third base and batting seventh. Zion had the walk-off fielder's choice in game number 2 of a 6-5 Hutchinson win on Tuesday over Redlands. He bats seventh. Brock Schaefer plays center field and bats eighth. And Dylan Nedved will get the start at second base today, batting ninth. Mason Palmier, a redshirt freshman, 1-0 record. He gets the start in the conference opener, so Ryan Schmidt will line him up like this. Divis in left, Sartori the designated hitter, Morganson in right field, Baxley at first base, Moritz the shortstop, Stevens at catcher, Bolin at third base, Schaefer in center field, Nedved at second base, and Mason Palmier the pitcher. Dragons 6-3 coming into this one. They start their defense of the Jayhawk West championship. They won it last year, the second time in the Ryan Schmidt era. The Dragons have captured a Jayhawk West championship. That's the first goal of the 2018 team, capture the Jayhawk West championship, and then go a little bit further and make that magic roll into Wichita, win Region 6, and head to Grand Junction, Colorado, where the Blue Dragons have been twice before. Really pretty day, not a cloud in the sky, very high blue sky. Temperature about 52 degrees. The wind has calmed down. It's almost calm now. It was about 15 minutes ago. It was blowing 10 to 15 in from center field. So we'll see how much the wind plays. When we were here for Independence, it was blowing straight out. And if you were with us for that broadcast, I told you how much differently this ballpark plays. There's the tree line right behind the fence all the way around, but behind that it's pretty wide open, so there's not much of a windbreak here at Hobart-Detter Field, even though it sits down in a valley right next to the Arkansas River. Colby hasn't played much baseball either. They played McCook Community College last Saturday, won 10-0. That's their only game in the last couple of weeks, so Hutchinson and Colby really in the same boat in terms of number of games played and when they have played those games. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of rust will roll off of these teams as we head into conference play. One thing that Ryan Schmidt really hasn't gotten to do is extend his pitchers. That was something we didn't talk about in the pregame show, but he really hasn't had a chance to extend his pitchers. Although Mason Palmier, he went 4 in his first outing on February 9th against Coffeyville and stretched that to 5 innings against Northeast Texas 1 week later. Blue Dragons about ready to be announced by Denny Steckline, our public address announcer. Both teams have pretty good offenses rolling into this one. Hutchinson hitting .348. They have scored now 87 runs in their first 9 games, 14 home runs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 different players have hit home runs already for Hutchinson. Wyatt Divis leading with 3. Colby, not a bad offense themselves, and they're Ryan Carter usually are. They are a .292 hitting team. They are averaging 6.5 runs per game. 5 home runs to their credit. Pitching-wise, the Blue Dragons come in with a team ERA of 5.53 and opposing batting average of 277. The Colby ERA at 8.51. Ryan Schmidt in his 6th year with the Blue Dragons. Again, he has won a couple of Jayhawk West championships. Ryan Carter in his 20th year at Colby. Boy, it doesn't seem possible. Ryan, one of the really good guys in the Jayhawk. Always enjoy talking to him when wherever they're in town or out there or at the league meetings. That's really the only times I ever get to see Ryan Carter. But always good to see him. And he always brings a team that is very fundamentally sound. They play small ball. They do what it takes to win, and they don't beat themselves. So the Blue Dragons will have to contend with that. We're getting set for the national anthem and the opening pitch. So we're about to have the Star Spangled Banner. We'll return. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. Welcome once again back to Hobart-Detter Field. We get set for the Jayhawk West opener for 2018. The Hutchinson Blue Dragons starts their title defense against the Colby Trojans. And this is a team that's, for one reason or another, always given Hutchinson a tough time. Last year, these two teams split in Colby 2-2. 2 years ago, the Trojans took 3 of 4 from the Blue Dragons. Kind of started a midseason slump for them, which they broke out of. But we'll get our first look, at least on the stream, at Mason Palmier. Palmier, a 6'3", 185-pound redshirt freshman from St. Louis, Missouri, Parkway South High School. Making his third start, 1-0 record with a 1.0 earned run average. 9 total innings for Palmier. He's allowed 7 hits, just 1 earned run. He has struck out 6, walked none, and opposing batters hitting .206 against him. Palmier's gone 4 innings against Coffeyville in his Blue Dragon debut. Allowed 3 hits, no runs, and struck out 3. And picked up the win in a 10-1 Hutchinson victory. And then on February 15th, that was his last outing. He threw 5 very strong innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. He struck out 3 in a no decision. So here we go. Josh Diggins, righty to step in against the right-handed Palmier. Thanks for joining us on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Here we go. First pitch is a little bit down. First pitch coming at 1:05 p.m. Big day for the Blue Dragons all the way around. Conference opener for baseball, postseason basketball. There's a Ball pulled foul outside of third by Diggins, and the count goes to 1-1. At 5:30 at the Sports Arena, the number 19 Blue Dragon women will take on Pratt in their Region 6 opener. And then at 7:30, Cloud County comes to town in their opening round matchup with the Blue Dragon men, break number 14. Palmyra misses a little bit low, and it's 2-1 to Diggins. Glenn Grunwald and Rusty Hills will have the calls of both of those games. The pitch, hard hit ball, diving stop by the catcher, or by the shortstop, Ryan Morowitz. Nice play. And that's how the conference season starts, a ringing out to Ryan Morowitz, one away. They'll bring up the designated hitter, Jacob Buzide.
Did you say catcher?
Yes, I did. I haven't slept.
A couple years ago, they moved that guy to behind the plate.
Thank you. First pitch into Buzide. Bores it on the leg and hits him. So a one-out base runner for Enoch Perez, the second baseman. Perez stepping in, hitting .241. No home runs, 3 RBIs, 6 hits, 1 for extra bases, a triple. Normally with a Colby roster, you see a lot of redshirt sophomores. Very few this year. In fact, you see a lot of freshman designations. One of the youngest teams Ryan Carter has had in quite some time at Colby. Palmyra out of the stretch. The ball pulled foul. Four conference series getting started throughout the afternoon, throughout the state in the Jayhawk West. We'll run down those matchups here briefly. Palmyra comes set, delivers. Strike at the knees, a good pitch, and it's 0-2. Seward County starts their conference season at Pratt. Cloud County is at Garden City, and Butler is at Dodge City. Barton has the first bye. 0-2, the count. Little tapper right back to Palmyra. He goes to second for 1, and that'll be the only play of 1-6 fielder's choice as Ryan Moritz takes the throw. Perez got down the baseline pretty good. Really didn't have a chance to turn 2. So now it's a runner at first, 2 away for the third baseman and cleanup hitter Matt Kootenai. Kootenai hitting .344 with 11 hits. A double, a triple, a home run, and 9 RBIs. Hitting from the left side. Low throw dug out by Zach Baxley. Defense a little bit different with Logan Sartori out of the defensive part of the lineup with that injured finger. The pitch. Fouled the plate. 0-1 to Kootenai. Set that lineup for you for the Blue Dragons. The outfield, left to right, Wyatt Divis, Brock Schaefer, and Bobby Morganson. Zion Bolin is at third. Ryan Moritz at short. Dylan Nedved at second base. Zach Baxley at first. Garrett Stevens is the catcher. There's a fly ball down the left field line, hooking foul. And it's 0-2. Excuse me. Palmyra in his first 2 outings has routinely worked ahead of hitters and been efficient with his pitch count, even though he only went 4 and 5 innings early on. Almost all pitchers are on strict pitch limits. 0-2 pitch. A little bit low. Nice miss there, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Kootenai. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Hard hit ball to right field. That gets down in front of Morganson, making the turn, but stopping at second is Perez. And it's a 2-out signal for Kootenai. First hit of the game surrendered. 2 on and 2 out here in the top of the first. This game is scheduled for 7. Second game scheduled for 9. That hasn't changed from conference years in the past. If this one would happen to go extra innings, the second game would turn into a 7-inning game. Now here's the 5-hole hitter, left fielder Alex Arenchuk. Dadved takes a look at the runner at second, takes another, and now delivers. Lifted to shallow left, coming in hard as Dibbs, slowing down. He's got it, and the inning is over. So a little bit of 2-out trouble, but nothing that Mason Palmier couldn't handle. No runs, a hit, and 2 left after a half inning here at Hobart-Detter Field. It's Colby nothing, and the Blue Dragons coming up. Blue Dragons will get their first look at sophomore Bryce Fraser. He is a 6'2", 185-pound right-handed sophomore from Lethbridge, Alberta. Fraser making his 4th start already. 1-1 record with a 3.60 earned run average. 15 innings pitched, 15 hits allowed, 7 runs, 6 have been earned. He has struck out 17 but walked 10. So the Dragons need to be patient. See if they can't get a few freebies aboard for the Big Dragon Boppers. And one of them stepping to the plate now in sophomore Wyatt Divis. Divis hitting .462 with 12 hits so far. First pitch hacking, and he fouls it off to the left. Div with the team high 3 home runs. One of 4 players already with 10 or more RBIs. He has 10. Of his 12 hits, 5 doubles, 3 home runs. On base of 659, slugging an even 1,000. Pitch taken a little bit low for a ball and a strike. Fraser into the wind. Had hit him right in the leg, and Divis wears one the Blue Dragon way. He is hit for the 5th time already this year. 13th time a Blue Dragon has worn a pitch. And now Logan Sartori, the designated hitter this afternoon. Sartori 3rd with a .438 batting average, 14 total hits. That's a second on the team. 7 doubles, a triple, a home run, and 11 driven in. That's tied for the team lead. Strike at the knees outside corner, 0-1 to Sartori. Logan injured his finger while bunting against Redlands the other day. Does not expect it to be out of the defensive part of the lineup. Very long. He's able to swing the bat. The pitch. Off-speed pitch. Fouled off the catcher. That shakes Cameron Tilley up. Actually, I think it was the backswing. It was the follow-through. So it was a follow-through of Sartori that got Cameron Tilley. But like all catchers, he hangs right in there and climbs back in and gets to work. 0-2 to Sartori. Divis at first, he was hit with a pitch. Fraser comes set and delivers. Fastball in on the hands, fouled off, and it remains no balls and 2 strikes. Once again, the 0-2 breaking pitch just misses low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sartori, a Lincoln Southwest High School product, Lincoln, Nebraska. 5'10", 175-pound freshman. Here's the pitch. Fastball low and away. It's 2-2. I was up in the Cornhusker State on Tuesday. Denny Steckline filled in for me. Many thanks to him and the crew.
What's up, Brandon? He didn't do anything.
Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and I think Sartori got him again with the follow through. With the strikeout for Sartori, 1 away for Bobby Morganson.
Number 11, Bobby Morganson.
Bobby had a fine afternoon on Tuesday. For the season, Morganson hitting .429, a team high 15 hits, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, tied for the team lead with 11 RBIs. Hits with the runner at first and 1 away here in the bottom of the first, no score. Fraser's pitch. Strike at the knees, outside corner. Morganson hit a couple of home runs on Tuesday against Redlands. The pitch. Strike on the inside corner, 0-2. Morganson in the first game was 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a home run. 1 for 2 with a home run in game number 2. He's hit safely in 6 of his first 9 games. The 0-2 just a little bit low. So right now Fraser right in the, or near the zone. As a freshman, Bobby Morganson tied the Blue Dragon single season RBI record with 87. Divis away from first, not a real threat to go. The pitch. Grounded up the middle. Shortstop fields it. They go to second for 1, and it's an easy 4-6-3 double play. Humminghouse to Perez to Cook, and the Dragons are turned away in the first. After 1, no score here at Hobart-Detter Field. No score through 1. This conference opener between Hutchinson and Colby. Trojans hitting top half of the second. It'll be leader Cook and Tilly 6, 7, and 8 to face Mason Palmier, who hit a batter and gave up a single in his first inning of work. First pitch handle, he was grounded to short. Bobbled by Moritz, and he won't have a play, and that'll be an error. That's the one thing that, if you listen to the pregame show with Ryan Schmidt, defense was his biggest concern, not having a lot of spring work with a brand new infield. He's got a lot of interchangeable parts with the infield, and it's still kind of finding its way. So a leadoff error for leader, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Adam Cook, hitting from the left side. Pitch from Palmier. First pitch swing, and it's fouled off to the left. Andy Leader leads the team with a .440 batting average, 11 hits and 25 at-bats, 2 doubles, 9 RBIs. He scored 5 runs. Palmier delivers. This is a little bit low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Colby turned a double play in the bottom of the first. See if the Blue Dragons can do the same thing. Wind not much of a factor, blowing in, but very lightly. There's a strike at the knees. 1-2 now to Cook. Last night, the wind was definitely howling from the north as that front came through. 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, good stop. Runner goes, and now they have him caught in a rundown. Moritz throws to first, and applying the tag is Zach Baxley. It'll go 2-6-3, caught stealing, and that erases the error, and its base is empty, 2 away. Pitch was in the dirt. Nice job by Garrett Stevens to knock that thing down. Leader made the break. Actually, that's not a caught stealing. He's just trying to advance. There's a fly ball left center field. Divis and Schaefer, and it's Divis making the catch for the second out. Now 2 away for Cameron Tilley, the catcher. Tilley hitting .333, 4 hits and 12 at-bats. Playing in his 5th game. A couple of RBIs to his credit. And it's ball 1 to the Colby catcher. Good lively fastball from Palmier. Swung through a miss. Tilley's even the count of 1-1. That error for the Dragons already their 22nd of the year. Ball 2 now. 2-1 count to Tilley. Dragons had to reconstruct the entire infield from last year. High chopper to short. Moritz has it, takes his time, pours it across in time. And the Trojans are done in the second. No runs, no hits, an error, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Dragons nothing and the Trojans nothing. Zach Baxley will lead off the bottom of the second inning of a potential pitcher's duel between Hutchinson's Mason Palmier and Colby's Bryce Frazier. Palmier has worked 2 scoreless innings. Now we see Frazier for the second time against the middle third of the Dragon order. I think Ryan Smith is happy to have this team back on the field. It was almost 2 weeks between games. And the Blue Dragons really came out and played well on Tuesday against a very fine Redlands team. Zach Baxley lead off here in the bottom of the second inning. He pitched way outside and back to the screen. Zach Baxley hitting .348, playing in his 8th game, 7th start. 8 for 23, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 5 runs scored. The pitch. Outside, ball 2. Chopped to the right side, fielded by the second baseman, Perez, and he throws Baxley out for out number 1. You looked at the stats of Bryce Frazier. You see those 10 walks in 15 innings. His control has been very sharp through the first 4 batters here. Here's shortstop Ryan Moritz. Strike at the knees, inside corner. Moritz hitting .533. 8 hits and 15 at-bats, 3 doubles, a home run, 10 RBIs, 1 of 4 with 10 or more. Pitch a little bit low on the inside corner, and it's 1-1. Wind starting to pick up again. Blowing straight in from center field. 1-1 pitch. Fastball sails outside. 2-1 now, the count to Moritz. Moritz, his big hit of the year, a pitch at grand slam. It's a big cut and a miss, and it's 2-2. That grand slam came against Northeast Texas. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout recorded by Bryce Frazier. And he's averaging better than 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. Get Frazier making his 4th start. 17 strikeouts in 15 innings. So 2 up and 2 down for the catcher, Garrett Stevens. Sophomore hitting .333, 5 out of 15. It's ball 1 to Garrett. Dragons .348 team batting average. Slow roller to second. Charging is Perez. And it's a very easy 1-2-3 second inning for Bryce Frazier. We head to the 3rd. Dragons nothing and the Trojans nothing. Adding to this big, busy Blue Dragon Thursday will be the Blue Dragon softball team. They are down in Oklahoma to take on the Oklahoma Wesleyan JV. No streams of those games. We'll try to keep you up to date as much as we can on Twitter. Those games are at 3 and 5 in Bartlesville. And then they'll stay down in the Sooner State and take on Rose State in a pair tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Have not heard if those games will be streamed by Rose State, but they will not be streamed by the network. So 9-1-2 to face Mason Palmier here in the 3rd. Riley Humringhouse, the shortstop, leads it off. First pitch swinging, he rolls it foul. And head coach Ryan Carter biffs one. He doesn't appear to be too traumatized, and he doesn't know that he might be under the influence of Denny Steckline's tweet any time now. There's strike at the knees, and it's 0-2 to Riley Humringhouse. Humringhouse a .231 batting average, 6 for 26, no extra base hits, 1 RBI, and 4 runs scored. 0-2 pitch just misses, and it's 1-2. Humringhouse, a sophomore out of Castle Rock, Colorado. 1-2 pitch. In on the hands, fouled out of the play into the Hobart-Detter parking lot off to our right. Not too much of a chance to hit a car. I think mine might be the only one out there right now. Might be a few more. 0-2 pitch. A little bit high. Now it's 2-2 to Humringhouse. Humringhouse a .333 on base percentage. He has struck out 5 times and walked only once. 2-2 pitch. Popped him up. Moritz taking charge, nearing the mound. High sky, and he makes the catch. That's not an easy play with this cloudless sky. Moritz retires Humringhouse. 1 out here in the Colby third, and it's back to the top of the order. And Josh Diggins. Diggins lined out to shortstop Ryan Moritz, his first time up. Palmier misses high for ball 1. Be interesting to see how this new conference format actually works out. Break slider is foul off. It's going to help the bullpens mostly. There were several times last year you looked at scores around the league of the game 4s, and they were just football scores. The line drive right field. Coming on is Bobby Morganson, and he chases it down for out number 2. Good running catch by Morganson. So 2 up, 2 down for the designated hitter, Jacob Buzide. Buzide was hit with a pitch his first time up. Ground ball the other way. Moritz fielded, throws, and that's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Mason Palmier, his first of the game. We head to the bottom of the third. Still looking for the game's first run. Hutch nothing and Colby nothing. Zion Boland lead out the bottom of the third for Hutchinson. Steve Carpenter with you from Hobart-Detter Field. The Jayhawk West opener for 2018. First pitch swinging, and Boland fouls one straight back to the screen. Zion, we got to see his speed on Tuesday. He beat out a potential double play and allowed the winning run to score in a 6-5 Hutch win. Good pitch from Frazier, and it's 0-2. So we haven't seen anything of those 10 walks. His control has been pinpoint. Zion Boland hitting .346, 9 for 26 so far. Home run and 4 RBIs. Laid on that fastball outside corner, and strikeout number 3 for Frazier. Dragons saw some pretty good arms down in Northeast Texas. Right now, Bryce Fraser might be the best arm they've seen to this point. Here's sophomore Brock Schaefer. Pulled foul. Schaefer got out ahead of that one. Schaefer hitting in the 8 spot. Hitting .310 for the year, 9 for 29. Already 10 runs scored, a home run and 5 RBIs. Schaefer an on base of .444, swings and fouls that one up, and he's in an 0-2 hole. Dragons are an aggressive swinging team. They will rack up some strikeouts, but they will also produce a ton of runs. 0-2. In the air, shallow left, drifting back is Humringhouse. He takes charge and makes the catch just in the outfield grass, 2 away. That is now
The second baseman, number 9, Dylan.
7 in a row retired. The only base runner for Hutchinson was leadoff batter Wyatt Divis, who was hit with a pitch. And then he raced on an inning-ending double play 2 batters later. So Dylan Nedved, freshman second baseman, gets his first look at Fraser. Takes high and tight, ball 1. Nedved off to a nice start, a .300 average, 9 for 30. Looking for his first extra base hit. He's driven in 4. Hard hit ball to right field, and the Dragons have their first hit of the game. Nice inside out swing. Hits are now tied at 1 apiece. And it's back to the top of the order. And Wyatt Divis.
The left fielder, number 15, Wyatt Divis.
Again, Divis has already been plunked 5 times this year. That leads the team far and away. Only Brock Schaefer and Scott Wolverton have been hit multiple times. They've both been hit twice. The pitch. Fastball from Fraser misses away, ball 1. Nedved 1 stolen base. So far the Dragons in this early season 10 for 12. Decent lead over at first by Nedved. Fraser comes set and delivers. Late swing by Divis, foul back to the facade, and it's 1-1. Divis out of Lincoln Northeast High School in Lincoln, Nebraska. Two home runs himself on Tuesday. The pitch. Slider misses in. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. We said throughout watching Wyatt Divis's career, his power is to left center field. He yanked one out of here to right field on Tuesday. Here's a 2-1. Left center field, pretty well hit, and it's caught by a Renchak on an over-the-shoulder catch, robbing Divis of extra bases. A great defensive play by the Colby left fielder, and the Dragons are turned away in the 3rd. No runs, a hit, and 1 left. We head to the 4th. Dragons nothing, and the Trojans nothing. Enoch Perez lead up the fourth inning. No score in this Jayhawk West opener. Jason Palmier in the line delivers strike one to Perez, who reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. That was a 34th pitch for Palmier, 23 in the zone. The line to deliver a curveball. Hit the right center field, shading his eyes is Brock Schaefer, and he's got it for out number one. Anything in the outfield, or even in the infield, anything high will be a tough catch. There's not a wisp of a white cloud up in that sky right now. One away for the third baseman, Matt Kootenai. He has the only Colby hit of the game. Palmier into the line. First pitch swinging is pulled foul. Colby's first base coach makes a nice play. I wonder if Jamel Cervantes was watching that. Yes, we pick on Coach Cervantes quite a bit here in the press box. The 0-1 off speed, taken a little bit low. Good pitch, and it's 1-1. And as Daddy puts it, deservedly so, correct. Here's the 1-1. Outside for a ball, 2-1. Jamel Cervantes, known him for quite some time. He was a Blue Dragon player here from 2008 to 2010. Starting center fielder on the World Series team that finished third in 2010. There's a high fly ball, deep right field. Morganson back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Just cleared the fence. And Colby takes a 1-0 lead. Kootenai hits his second home run of the year, RBI number 10. And Colby draws first blood here in the series. Palmier gives up his second home run of the year. That's the 11th given up by Blue Dragon pitching. Now left fielder Alex Arenchuk flew out to left his first time. First pitch swing, he grounded up the middle, past the diving Moritz. That's a rocky start to the fourth for Palmier. Home run now, a single back up the box by Arenchuk. Here's the right fielder Andy Leader. Dragons played from behind in both games against Redland, although earlier, good off-speed pitch swung through and missed. It was a dandy pitch from Palmier. Fastball grounded left side in the through for a hit. That's 3 straight hits now for the Trojans. Perez. Now here's Adam Cook. Cook flew out to left his first time. After retiring the first batter, Kootenai hit the solo home run. Arenchuk and Leader are both singled now. And Garrett Stevens goes out and has a quick word with Mason Palmier. Believe this is the first time that Mason may be trailing in a game in his 3 starts. The pitch. Off speed, swung through and missed. Strike 1. And this one's scheduled for 7. That was against a fairly stiff north wind. It's picked up again, blowing in from center field. That ball cleared in right field. The 0-1. Nice fastball at the knees, outside corner, strike 2. Dragons, the number 7 preseason ranked team. New rankings will come out next week. Likely the Dragons will fall out of the top 10, but should still remain in the poll. That ball gets away, And it won't be any play. There'll be a pass ball charged to Garrett Stevens on an 0-2 count, no less. That has been a issue for Ryan Schmidt. The pass balls, that's the 6-1 charge to Garrett Stevens, the 10th by the entire staff. 1-2 from Palmier. Got him swinging for a big second out. That is Palmier's first strikeout of the game. Now, runners at second and third, 2 away for the catcher, Cameron Tilley. He grounded to Moritz at short his first time. 1-0 Colby on the power of a Matt Kootenai home run with 1 out here in the 4th. Breaking pitch, high and tight, ball 1. Time call momentarily. Outfield straight away for the Blue Dragons. Infield back at the pitch. Swung through and missed, and it's 1-1. A home run, I would like to know just exactly how much Mason missed his spot. He's been around the zone. He hasn't walked anybody. He's hit a batter, but pitch misses, and it's 2-1. So I'm guessing he may have missed a little too far over the plate where Garrett Stevens had it set up. Right now, it's the only tally of the game. Palmier's trying to limit the damage. Swung through and missed. 2-2 to Tilley. Pitchers are going to give up home runs. You just don't want to give up to 3 and run home runs and grand slaps. Pitch inside, nearly got him. Got him off the plate, and the count's full. So 3-2 to Cameron Tilley, the catcher. Hitting in the 8th slot. Riley Humringhouse would be next if Tilley can extend the inning. Here's the payoff. Little tapper to the right side, charging his net bet. Has it on the big hop and throws over to first in time. And Palmier does limit the damage. But the home run by Kootenai. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 left. And we're halfway home in game number 1. It is now Colby 1 and the Blue Dragons nothing. Dragons need to wake the offense up. 1 hit through 3 innings against Bryce Frazier, who has struck out 3. Logan Sartori, Bobby Morganson, Zach Baxley, 2, 3, and 4. Dragons head around the second time through the order. Dragons trailing 1-0 on the Matt Kootenai home run. Fastball for a strike to Sartori, who struck out swinging his first time. Still looking for this wildness that Frazier's shown according to his stats. He misses there. Count even 1-1 in Sartori. 10 walks through his first 15 innings. He has not even had a 3-ball count hardly against the Blue Dragons so far today. Breaking pitch of beauty over the inner half, and it's 1-2 to Sartori. Fraser into the wind, the 1-2. It's a fair ball inside the bag and down the line. Could be extra base. It's Sartori heading for second base. Leader gets to it, and it's a leadoff double for Logan Sartori, who just inside out of it, just past the first base bag. Adam Cook, the first baseman, was playing off the line, and it snuck through for a leadoff double. Sartori's 8th two-bagger of the year already. Now Bobby Morganson a chance to tie it up. Runner in scoring position, the tying run with nobody out. Morganson hit into an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play his first time up. That for Sartori now. He extends his hitting streak to 8 games. The pitch, outside, ball 1.
Logan's been hanging out in some pool halls based on that one.
Sartori a decent lead at second. Heimercast coming in behind him a little bit. Now drops off. The 1-0 to Morganson. Low and in, ball 2. Bobby looking to drive in his 12th run of the year. That would give him 99 for his career. Of course, if he happened to go yard, it would be an even 100. 2-0 pitch. Up the middle and through for a base hit. Cervantes waves Sartori, and this game is going to be tied. It is career RBI number 99 for Bobby Morganson, and we're tied at 1 apiece. Pitch was in on the hands, and Bobby just muscled it right back up the box. So the Dragons on the board to tie it. They now have 3 hits, and here's the first baseman, Zach Baxley. Grounded out to second his first time up. So Fraser surrenders his first run. The first pitch swung through and missed. Big cut by Baxley. 43 pitches now for Fraser, 27 in the zone. Morganson 5 for 5 in stolen bases, so he has the team lead right now. Decent lead over at first. Does not go. Bunt to the right side. It's a good one. Fielded by Fraser, underhand flip. It'll be a 1-3 sack bunt. A little small ball going on, and the Dragons have the potential go-ahead run at second base with 1 out. Good bunt by Baxley. That'll bring up Ryan Moritz. Baxley.
5 for 5 and leads the team. Do you realize how much is wrong with that statement?
Yeah, I know. That's the first sacrifice for Baxley, and it's ball 1 to Ryan Moritz. Moritz a strikeout victim his first time. Colby's now hit at 4-3. Dragons have committed the only error of the game. Did not come home to roost. Bobby edging away from second. The pitch is high and outside, 2-0 to Moritz. Garrett Stevens on deck. Colby grabbed a 1-0 lead on a Matt Kootenai 1-out home run in the top of the 4th inning. The Dragons have just tied it on an RBI single by Bobby Morganson. The scored Logan Sartori, who led the inning off with a Q-shot double just inside the first base bag. Low and in, 3-0. First 3-0 count. Fraser's thrown up today. I do believe it's his first 3-ball count of any sort. The cripple right in there for a strike. 3-1 now to Moritz. Toby Corneo in the first base coaching box for the Blue Dragons. Jamel Cervantes in the third base box running the offense. 3-1 pitch. Ground to the left side. Morganson will hold. Fielded by Hummerhouse. The throw is in time. And there's 2 away. Ball was hit ahead of Morganson. He didn't want to take a chance of running into an out, so he stayed put. And Humringhouse made a strong throw to first to get Moritz. Now it's going to take a 2-out hit from Garrett Stevens. So far this season, the Dragons hitting .318 in 2-out situations with 24 2-out RBIs. Dragons could use one here to take the lead. Breaking pitch, ball 1 to Stevens. Garrett with 2 out. 3 for 10. He's yet to drive in a 2-out RBI. What an opportune time for him to do it here. Frazier checks Morganson the pitch. In the dirt and back to the screen, and Morganson will move up to third on the wild pitch. So 2-0 the count to Garrett Stevens. He can be selective. Morganson the potential go-ahead run now 90 feet away, but with 2 out. And Phil back for the Trojans. Frazier will continue out of the stretch with the runner at third. The pitch. And there for a strike. Took something off of it. Looked like Garrett was taking all the way, and it's 2-1. No action in the Colby bullpen. Two-one pitch. Cued off the end of the bat. Foul. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That ball hit off the front facing of near the Colby dugout and almost went all the way right back out to the pitcher's mound. The ball's probably done. And get a new one in there. Now we get set to go at 2-2. Frazier to Garrett Stevens. Morganson away from third. Here's the pitch. Up the middle, and it's under the glove of the second baseman. The Dragons have the lead 2-1, an RBI single for Garrett Stevens. It's a 2-run 4th inning, and the Dragons grab their first lead of the afternoon at 2-1. Garrett driving in his 5th run of the year. Got it just under the glove of second baseman Enoch Perez. So the Dragons grab their first lead. See if they can continue to go with 2 outs. Here's Zion Bolin. He struck out swinging in his first big hack foul back for strike 1. Frazier up to now 55 pitches. Inside outswing pop foul, and it will get out of play. And Bolin hit out of an 0-2 count. We were watching the game on Tuesday where he hit the walk-off fielder's choice. Denny Steckline asked Zion, had the second baseman not bobbled that, if he would have beat it out. Zion said no problem. Harry swings and misses to end the inning, but the Dragons cash in on the leadoff double by Sartori. RBI single by Morganson, RBI single by Garrett Stevens. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We head to the 5th inning. Our new score, the Dragons 2 and the Trojans 1. Bobby Morganson and Garrett Stevens deliver RBI singles to give the Dragons a 2-1 lead through 4 innings. We head to the 5th in this scheduled 7-inning tilt in this 2018 Jayhawk West opener. Mason Palmier back to work. He gets 9-1-2. Riley Humringhouse, Josh Diggins, and Jacob Buzide. Humringhouse popped up to shortstop Ryan Moritz his first time up. First pitch swing, tap foul up along third. The stats on Mason Palmier through 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout, no walks. He's hit a batter. For a few hours this morning, this was supposed to be a 12 p.m. start, but then one of the umpires couldn't make it, and we had to push it back to 1. Pitch taken a little bit low for a ball. The reason it was pushed up to 12, we were worried about the lighting situation on the outfield poles. That situation has been resolved. 1-1 pitch. Just off the plate wide, 2-1. Good breaking pitch from Palmier. High chopper bobbled by Bolin, and it'll be the Dragons' second error of the game. Tried to play it on a short hop. He charged it. It was a tough play. But the Dragons commit their second error of the game. And it's the leadoff hitter in the 5th, and Humringhouse represents the tying run. Now third time around the order for the Trojans against Palmier. Center fielder Josh Diggins steps in. He's lined out to short and flown out to right. The pitch. Strike at the knees. Wondering if Diggins may show bunt. He showed no signs. That might be a one-pitch thing. Ryan Carter rolls through the signs. Not swing. Runner goes. The throw down is into center field. So it'll be a stolen base and a throwing error on Garrett Stevens, the second error of the inning, third of the game. And now the tying run at third base with nobody out. It was a swing and a miss, so it's 0-2. But now Humringhouse, the tying run at third base with nobody out. The pitch. Just off the plate wide. Good pitch there. Dragons wanted it, but it was wide. But close enough to make you think. 1-2 pitch. Same place, same call. 2-2. Palmier could use a strikeout here. The infield, the middle playing back. Corners up even with the bag. 2-2 pitch. High pop. Shallow right. Back goes Nedved. In comes Morganson. Morganson still coming on. Makes the catch just short of the infield. Humringhouse makes about 3 steps and turns around for a big first out here in the top of the 5th. I don't think Nedved ever had that in his sights. Great hustle by Bobby. He was playing fairly deep. That thing was hit a mile high and allowed Morganson almost reach the infield to make the catch. Now designated hitter Jacob Buzide. First pitch hacking, foul back. Buzide's been hit with the pitch and grounded out to short. Hits are now tied 4 apiece, but the Dragons have committed 3 errors. A 1 pitch. Good speed pitch, swung over the top and missed. Palmier with the advantage in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Ground ball to the right side. This will get the run home. Nedved throws out Buzide, but Humringhouse scores, and the leadoff error comes back to roost. An unearned run, but it counts nonetheless, and we're tied at 2. Buzai drives in his 10th run of the year. That ties a Renchuk for that team, their team lead, and it's ball 1 to Enoch Perez. On deck, Matt Kootenai, who started the scoring. Ground ball to second baseman Dylan Nedved. He makes a good throw, and just like that, the inning's over. But leadoff error by third baseman Zion Bolin comes around to score. 2 errors in the inning, no hits. And we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Our new score, the Dragons 2 and the Trojans 2. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field. Steve Carpenter with you. Well, turning to a very gorgeous Friday afternoon here in Hutchinson, Kansas. 2-2 the score. Colby tying it up with an under-and run at the top of the 5th. Here's Brock Schaefer. First pitch swing is popped up and back out of play. Schaefer and Nedved and the leadoff man Divis here in the 5th against Bryce Frazier, who's throwing a very fine ball game. Schaefer lays off that pitch, and it's 1-1. Frazier 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, no walks. He's hit a batter and had 1 wild pitch. Frazier into the wind, the 1-1. Inside, nearly hit Schaefer. He tried. Now it's 2-1. That was the 60th pitch for Bryce Frazier. Dragons got to him for 2 in the last inning. See if they keep the momentum up. Just inside, ball 3. 3-1 now to Schaefer. A pitch. The hands foul back over the press box to the full count to the sophomore from Andover. Dodge City, 7-2. They have the best winning percentage in the Jayhawk. They're down 2-0 currently to Butler. Shave pops this one up. Left side, drifting back is Humringhouse. He's got it. 1 away. Second baseman Dylan Nedved will step in. He got the Dragons' first hit of the game. Went the other way through the right side. You kind of get the sense that Dragons have Frazier on the ropes just a little bit. There's a strike. A good breaking pitch. The Dragons don't strike here. Frazier's going to get his confidence back. So this is a big inning for the Dragons to strike. Pitch upstairs, 1-1. Only Nedved's second plate appearance of the afternoon. Pitch in the dirt. 2-1 the count to the Dragon 9-hole hitter. And one shot foul, 2-2 the count. Nedved fights that one off again and remains 2-2. Ball hit down the right field line. It's hooking foul and will get out of play. Each team with 2 runs, 4 hits, but 3 errors in the Dragon column. The reason we're tied. Once again, the 2-2 to Nedved. Ball's hit to right center field. This could be trouble. Leader and Diggins going back, and Leader chases it down. He actually slipped as he made the turn. I thought he was burned. But again, a high fly ball dies for a Blue Dragon, and it's 2 up and 2 down here in the Dragon 5th. Now Wyatt Divis. 0 for 1. He was also hit with a pitch. It was robbed of extra bases by Alex Arenchuk. Taking low and in, ball 1. Frazier's pitch, and there for a strike, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Logan Sartori would be next. A little bit high, 2-1 to Divis. The pitch. Ground ball to short. Emery House fields, throws, and it's a 1-2-3 Dragon 5th. We head to the 6th here at Hobart-Detter Field. Hutchinson 2 and Colby 2. We head to the 6th inning at Hobart-Detter Field, tied 2-2. Hutchinson and Colby in this Jayhawk West opener for 2018. First out recorded by Mason Palmer. He will establish the new season long. And of course, any out after that will continue to mount. He went 5 against Northeast Texas. He heads to the 6th here, tied 2-2. He's allowed 2 runs, only 1 earned, 4 hits with 1 strikeout. The guy that put him in the rears by a run is at the plate, Matt Kootenai. 2 for 2, including a solo home run to break a scoreless tie in the 4th. Kootenai swings and misses at that offering, and it's 1-1. That was Kootenai's 2nd home run, 10th RBI of the year. Pitch taken downstairs, 2-1. Didn't miss by much. That was the 6th home run hit by the Trojans this year. 2-1 pitch. Good location with that fastball outer half at the knees, and it's 2-2 to Kootenai. The pitch. Foul at the plate. Stays 2-2. There's some light action in the Dragon pen. Down the left field line, and of course outside the fence. Zach Philbin begins to loosen. 2-2 from Palmier. Lifted to center field. Out toward left center. Schaefer chases it down into the gap, and it's out number 1 here in the 6th. Getting out a cloud in the sky, a high blue sky. And what's turned out to be a very pretty afternoon here in Hutchinson. One away for the left fielder, Alex Orenchuk. He singled his last time up. 1 for 2. Strike 1 from Palmier. Over below for a ball, 1-1. Mason, after giving up the home run to Kootenai, gave up back-to-back singles to Orenchuk and Leader. He got out of it. Fouled off the foot, and down goes Orenchuk. He's up and looks to be okay. The plate umpire gives him a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
1-2 the count to Orenchuk. Tied at 2 here in the top of the 6th. This one's scheduled for 7. The line in the 1-2. Got him swinging. Good off-speed pitch on the outer half. Second strikeout for Palmier. There's now 5 in a row retired by Mason Palmier. That'll bring up right fielder Andy Leader. He's 1 for 2. Reached on an error in the 2nd. And singled in the 4th. He was stranded at second base. Palmier delivers strike 1. Once Leader had the single, Cook struck out until he ended the inning on a ground out to second baseman Dylan Nedved. Strike called, 0-2. Very quickly back to work, Palmier. Leader stays alive. Chase that pitch up. We'll see how the Dragons want to work this. I'm going to go a little bit farther up the ladder to see if Leader changes or change the eye level. Garrett Stevens drops to sign the 0-2. Close pitch. Dragons don't get the call, and it's 1-2. One, two from Palmier. High chopper, but foul. Colby coach Ryan Carter made a nice effort at not going after that. He looked good doing it. Looked like he was going to field it and just bounced right past him. Again, Ryan Carter, one of the good guys this league. Breaking pitch. Popped up. Will it stay in for Stevens? He's back near the fence. May have a play on it, and he does, and the inning is over. Very efficient 1-2-3 inning for Mason Palmier in the 6th with the strikeout. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Dragons 2 and the Trojans 2. 2-3-4 here in the Dragons' sixth of a 2-2 game with Colby. Good pitcher's duel between Hutchinson's Mason Palmier and Colby's Bryce Frazier. Logan Sartori got the only inning the Dragons scored in with a Q-shot double inside the first base bag. The peel down to first, and Sartori checks his swing, ball one. Sartori then scored on Bobby Morganson's single to tie the game at 1 in the fourth. Swinging a foul back to the screen, and it's 1-1. Morganson later scored on a 2-out single by Garrett Stevens, but the Dragons committed 2 errors in the top of the fifth, allowed an unearned run, and now we sit tied 2-2. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball right to short. Humringhouse has it. Pours it across. 1 away here in the Dragons' sixth. Sartori now 1 for 3. Now Bobby Morganson.
The right fielder, number 11, Bobby Morganson.
Sitting on 99 career RBIs. The sophomore from Omaha Creighton Prep. Omaha, my hometown. Lefty-righty matchup to pitch. That ball's well hit toward the gap left center field. It's going to get down. Cutting it off is Arenchuk and hold Bobby Morganson to a single. He's now 2 for 3. And Morganson has hit in 7 straight games.
Zach Baxley.
Here's Zach Baxley. Good hustle by the Colby left fielder to hold Morganson to 1 base. Now Baxley, 0 for 2. Swings through that one. Got full on the breaking pitch, and he's down in the count. No balls and 1 strike. Next pitch from Bryce Frazier will be his 80th. Still no action in the Colby pen. Decent lead over first by Morganson. Again, he's got 5 steals. We'll watch him. Does not go. Baxley takes low for ball. And it's 1-1. 80 pitches, 50 strikes now for Bryce Frazier. With Hutchinson's 5th hit of the game, they've out hit Colby 5-4 in that single by Morganson. Move over to first, head first dive, and Morganson back safely. Cameron Tilley has thrown out 3 of 8 base runners this year. Or 3 of 11, excuse me. That one's hit past a diving shortstop, Humringhouse. It's back-to-back hits for the Dragons here in the 6th. A potential go-ahead run in scoring position with less than 2 out. A hard hit ball by Baxley.
Number 5, Ryan Moritz.
That'll bring up Ryan Moritz. So Morganson at second, Zach Baxley at first with his first hit. Hutchau has 6. And the left-handed hitting Moritz steps in looking for his first hit of the afternoon. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. The pitch. Low and away, ball 1. Ryan Moritz coming into this one hitting .545 against right-handed pitching, 6 for 11. Chased that one up, and it's 1-1. Mentioned it earlier, Moritz has a flair for the dramatic. A pitch at Grand Slam at Northeast Texas. Zach Baxley then hit a 2-run home run in the 10th inning to give the Dragons the lead and ultimately the only win of that series. Frazier misses low and away for a ball. 2-1 now to Moritz. Dayton Lane now throwing in the Dragon pen, as well as Zach Philbin. Little cue shot to the left side, knocked down by Humringhouse. They go to second for 1. Can't make the play at first. Wasn't a real hard hit. Maxley retired 6-4 at second base. Now 2 away for Garrett Stevens, who see if he can come up with a little 2-out magic. Ryan Carter wants time. He's going to bring in the entire infield and talk strategy. Morgan's in the third. Moritz the first 2 away. 2-2. Bottom of the 6th. This one's scheduled for 7. Ryan Schmidt, Jamel Cervantes, Toby Cornell, and all the Dragons involved. That'd be Morganson, Moritz, and the batter Garrett Stevens all get together. So a lot of strategizing going on right now in a very tense part of this game. Dragons trying to take the lead. They led briefly 2-1, but surrendered an unearned run in the top of the 5th inning. Now the meetings disperse and we get set to resume. 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors, 2 left on for Hutchinson. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 4 left on for Colby. Wind not much of a factor, but it's going to take a 2-out hit here from Garrett Stevens, who has 1 2-out RBI already in this game. Frazier comes set. Now delivers. Hit him. And the bases are loaded. Breaking pitch that got away from Frazier. Grazes Garrett Stevens, and now it's up to Zion Bolin. So now it's Morganson at third. Moritz at second, Stevens at first for Zion Bolin, who's struck out twice against Frazier. That ball well at the left or right at Arenchuk. He's got it. And the inning is over. The Dragons leave him loaded. Bolin lines out to Arenchuk to end the 6th. We head to the 7th inning. Hutchinson 2 and Colby 2. A dandy 2018 Jayhawk West opener. Great pitchers duel between Hutchinson's Mason Palmier and Colby's Bryce Frazier. 2-2 as we go to the 7th. This one's scheduled for 7. Palmier back out there, but plenty of work going on behind him in the Dragon pen. It'll be the bottom third of the Colby order here in the 7th. Cook, Tilley, and Humringhouse through 6 innings. Mason Palmier, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. There's a swing and a miss by Cook to start the 7th. 2 runs, 1 earned, 2 strikeouts, no walk, 1 hit batsman. And that was pitch number 81. That pitch sails outside, 1-1 now to Cook. Adam Cook, 0 for 2, a fly out and a strikeout. Changeup swung through and missed, 1-2. At the 83 pitches now for Palmier. The pitch. Foul at the plate, and Cook stays alive. Very typical Hutchinson Colby baseball game. Normally very tense right down to the end. 1-2. Did he go around? Yes, he did. That's out number 1 here in the 7th. Third strikeout for Mason Palmier. Cook now 0 for 3, and that'll bring up the catcher Cameron Tilley. Tilley, pair of groundouts, both to the middle infielders. Dragons about hit Colby 6-4, but that 3 spot in the arrow column kind of haunting Hutch right now. Did he go around? They checked down. Yes, he did. Tilley couldn't check his swing, and it's 0-1 to the Colby catcher. Palmier working quickly. Fastball misses just off the plate. 1-1. He's climbing right back on getting the ball and going right back to work. Great pace. Here's a 1-1. Swinging a miss on a high fastball. 1-2 to Tilley. Don't be surprised if you see Trojans start backing out. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3 outside corner. 2 away here in the 7th. That's back-to-back strikeouts. That's 3 out of the last 4 batters he's faced that Palmier has struck out. Didn't get his first strikeout until the 4th inning. Now Riley Humringhouse. He reached on the air and eventually scored to tie the game. He's 0 for 2. Ball 1 to the Colby shortstop. Lifted to shallow center. In comes Brock Schaefer. He slows down. Got it. That's a very quick 1-2-3 7th inning for Mason Palmier with 2 strikeouts. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Hobart-Detter Field. It's the Dragons 2 and the Trojans 2. Brock Schaefer, Dylan Nedved, Wyatt Divis. Till at the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-2 the score. Steve Carpenter with you from Hobart-Detter Field. Bryce Fraser back to work, and he misses low and in. Ball 1 to Brock Schaefer. Schaefer is 0 for 2. A couple of pop-ups to the shortstop Humringhouse. He's been ahead in the count in both at bats, too. Head in the count here, 2-0. 1 run will win it for the Dragons. The pitch. Hard hit ball past the first baseman into right field. It's a leadoff single for Schaefer. He thought about 2 momentarily. Take a big turn. But the potential winning run on first with nobody out. Schaefer singles his first hit of the game. He's 1 for 3. The Dragons have 7 hits. And that'll be Dylan Nedved.
Number 9, Dylan Nedved.
Nedved does not have a sacrifice this year. 1 for 2. We'll see how the Blue Dragons play it here. Nedved shows bunt and pulls back for ball 1. Dragons looking for their second straight walk-off. Not showing bunt. Nedved takes a strike. 1-1 the count to the freshman second baseman. Nedved out of Shawnee, Kansas. Frazier comes set. Shows bunt here. Drops one down. That's a good one. Frazier will field, and he won't have a play. That'll be an infield single. A bunt single, and the Dragons have 2 on to start. Now Wyatt Divis, the batter. Schaefer singled through the right side on a 1-1 pitch. Nedved dropped down a perfect bunt. Frazier got to it, but did not have a play. So now we'll see what they do with Divis. Wyatt asked for time, and it's granted. Div 0 for 2 is hit with a pitch. No action in the Colby pen this game right now is Bryce Frazier's. He comes set and delivers. Low and in, gets away momentarily from Tilley, but the Dragons cannot advance. Ball 1 to Divis. Logan Sartori on deck. Wind blowing in. That could be a factor. The pitch. Strike at the knees. 1-1 to the count now to Wyatt Divis. On the 95th pitch of the afternoon from Bryce Frazier. Forget those walk totals. He has been in and around the zone all afternoon. Been a great pitcher's duel by both the starting pitchers in this one. 1-1. Inside 2-1. Didn't miss by much. Tilley tried to frame it and couldn't get the call. Dragons now with 8 hits. They've doubled up the Trojans. 8-4 in the hit category. Schaefer away from second. The pitch. High chopper right side. Going to be a tough play. Fielded by the second base. A little backhanded flip. Gets Divis. Nice play by Enoch Perez. Only play he had. But it works perfectly. Now runners at second and third. 1 out for Logan Sartori. Will the Trojans and head coach Ryan Carter intentionally walk? He calls time, does Coach Carter. They're going to talk about it. Do you pitch to Sartori or do you pitch to Morganson? Those are really the decisions you're left with. If you pitch to Sartori, you've got a player that's on an 8-game hitting streak. And if you walk Sartori and pitch to Morganson, you've got to be very fine to a batter with a 7-game hitting streak. Morganson already 2 hits this afternoon, so you've got a righty-righty matchup with Sartori, a righty-lefty matchup with Morganson. So it's just a matter of what Bryce Frazier feels comfortable with. Again, this is his game. Sartori 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored in the 4th. Infield in at all 4 positions. Outfield very shallow. Anything over their heads would score the run anyway. Frazier delivers. First pitch, little tap. Run throws wide, but Cook holds the bag, or gets back to the bag to get Sartori. So maybe a little anxious hitting by Sartori. Went first pitch hacking. He's thrown out by the shortstop Humminghouse, and now it's going to take a 2-out hit from Bobby Morganson. Now, if you're Ryan Carter, do you walk Morganson and pitch to Zach Baxley? And they are going to intentionally walk Bobby Morganson. So it'll come down to freshman Zach Baxley. He's going to have the bases loaded. There's ball 3. And ball 4. Professional baseball, you could just send them to first, but in college baseball, you got to throw them. So Schaefer at third, Nedved at second, Morganson at first, and Zach Baxley the batter. Baxley singled his last time up, 1 for 2 in a sacrifice in the 4th. Schaefer singled. Nedved had a bunt single. Divis had a well-placed ground out, a great play by the second baseman Perez. First pitch swinging is Baxley at an off-speed pitch, and it's 0-1. And Sartori with the infield in, grounded out to short. Morganson was intentionally walked. That brings us to this exact moment, 0-1 the count to Baxley. Infield back at regular depth with 2 out. Frazier delivers a strike right down the chute. He's ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Dragons looking to walk off. Colby looking to extend it to extra innings. Here's the 0-2. Upstairs, 1-2. Dragons have stranded 5. They don't want to strand anymore. They'd love to end it right here. 1-2. Right down the chute, strike 3, and we're headed for extra innings. Dragons have a golden opportunity slip right through their fingers. No runs, 2 hits, and 3 left on. We head to extra innings in game number 1. Hutchinson 2 and Colby 2. We head to extra innings here at Hobart-Detter Field. 2-2 the score. Hutchinson and Colby. Dragons loaded him up with 2 outs but couldn't cash. And now we see sophomore Dayton Lane on the mound for Hutchinson, taking over for Mason Palmier, who will get a no decision, but a tremendous 7-inning effort by the freshman. Lane out of College Station, Texas, 6'1", 190 pounds, on for the 3rd time this year. No record with a 6.75 earned run average. 4 innings pitched for Lane, 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. He has struck out 3 and walked 2. And are we seeing some other changes here?
Rip to right, in for backs.
Julian Rip will move to right field and hit Zach Baxley's spot. Bobby Morganson will come into first. So Rip will hit in the 5 hole. Rip had a home run here on Tuesday. So Morganson goes from right to first. Rip now into right field. And Dayton Lane, the pitcher. Strike one to leadoff hitter Josh Diggins. It's the top of the order here in the eighth for Colby. Diggins, Bozide, and Perez. Diggins 0 for 3. The 0-1 pitch. He went around, 0-2 the count. Pitch popped up. Will it stay in for Garrett Stevens? It lands right on the press box roof. And we'll do it again at 0-2. 7 innings pitched for Mason Palmyra. No decision. 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned. He struck out 4, walked none, and hit 1. The 0-2 swing and a miss. Strike 3. One away here in the Colby eighth. Lane had 7 saves as a freshman. And don't be surprised if you see him start a game here sometime during the year. Now Jacob Buzide, the designated hitter. Buzide, 0 for 2. He had the RBI ground out to tie the thing up at 2. Swing and a miss on a big breaking pitch. Big 12-6 curveball. The 0-1. High and away for a ball. You can tell it's conference play. The intensity's up just ever so much more. The Jayhawk West always a war to win every year. 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. Outfielder straight away for Buzide, the pitch. Hard hit ball, pulled foul outside of first, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Second extra inning game of the year for Hutchinson. They won 9-7 in 10 innings at Northeast Texas. 2-2 pitch. Buzide barely stays alive, got it off the end of the bat, and stays 2-2. That was the game where we've mentioned that Ryan Moritz at the pinch hit grand slam, and then Zach Baxley a 2-run home run in the 10th. The only win of that series for the Blue Dragons. 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. 2 away. 2 strikeouts now for Lane. Now Enoch Perez, the second baseman. Perez reached on a fielder's choice in the first and has flown out and grounded out. 0 for 3. So now, as conference rules state, the second game will now be a 7-inning game. Breaking pitch in the dirt. Perez lays off for ball 1. Strike at the knees outside corner. 1-1 the count. Lane had one fairly shaky outing now against Independence. There's a little looper to right center field. On the run is Rip. He dives and can't make the catch. Schaefer will have to cut it off. It's a 2-out double for Enoch Perez. He's the go-ahead run with 2 outs. And that'll bring up Matt Kootenai, who's homered already once today. 2 hits in the game. Great effort by Julian Rip. A head-first dive came up just short. So a little 2-out trouble for Lane. And Kootenai will be the batter.
Pratt's leading Seward 11-4.
Ryan Schmidt heads to the mound. Score update.
4-3 on Butler.
Pratt all over Seward County. 11-4?
11-4, according to their Twitter.
So Pratt really taking to the Saints in their conference opener. Right now, Butler leads Dodge City 4-3 in their conference opener. The other series yet to get underway, I believe it starts at 3 o'clock, is Cloud County at Garden City. Butler has the weekend off. So Ryan Schmidt, one of those very one-sided conversations, looking right into the eyes of Dayton Lane, telling him exactly what he wants. So a righty-lefty matchup here.
So you want just the opposite on the nets. You don't want to see that much yellow on the nets.
Kootenai out of Edmonton, Alberta. A lot of players from the area play in the Jayhawk. Runner at second, 2 away here in the top of the 8th, tied 2-2. Breaking pitch from Lane just misses the outside corner at the knees, ball 1.
Butler Dodge tied 4-4 now.
Butler Dodge now tied 4-4, top of the 3rd. These are the situations Lane wants to improve in from last year. Fastball swung through a miss. Good block by Stevens. That ball had great downward trajectory. And Garrett made sure he got the body in front of it. No advancement by Perez at second. 1-1 the count to Kootenai. Lane out of the stretch, comes set, checks the runner. Checks one more time, now delivers. Breaking pitch, just misses low, 2-1. Garrett Stevens will go out and talk to Dayton Lane. That double by Perez, just the 5th hit of the afternoon for the Trojans. They were team hitting .292 coming into this afternoon. 19 for 21 on the base paths. Perez is a perfect 7 for 7, so we may see him take off for 3rd. That's something to keep in mind if you're the Dragons. Here's the 2-1 to Kootenai. First Lane steps off. You got first base unoccupied. You do not have to give in to Kootenai. Their roster has him as a right-handed hitter, but he's up swinging left-handed. Lane checks runner, now delivers. Fastball low and away, 3-1. Alex Arenchuk on deck, and then Andy Leader. Kootenai up on the plate now. Here's the 3-1. Little tapper foul, and the count's run full. Lane challenged him on 3-1 and won that particular battle. Zach Philbin, the left-hander, continues to throw in the Hutchinson pen. 3-2, 2 out here in the top of the 8th, tied 2-2. Lane's full count pitch. Wow, didn't miss by much. First walk issued by Blue Dragon pitching today. First and second, 2 out for Alex Arenchuk. Arenchuk 1 for 3, a 4th inning single. Struck out his last time. Another righty-lefty matchup. There's 5 lefties in this Colby lineup for game number 1 for Ryan Carter. The pitch. Way outside, ball 1. This is where you really want Dayton Lane to throw a quality pitch. Not fall behind 2-0, but challenge the batter enough to be on your terms. It's like that. Off speed, swung through and missed, and it's 1-1. Perfect time for that curveball. Now it's 1-1 to our Renchuk. The pitch. High and away, 2-1. There are 12 Canadians on this Colby roster. 2-1 pitch. Outside 3-1. Now it's getting dicey if you're a Blue Dragon. Lane got Diggins and Bozai to strike out. Perez doubled to right center. Kootenai walked. Now it's 3-1 to Arenchek. The pitch. Walked him and the bases were loaded. So from 2 strikeouts to the bases juice with Trojans. It'll be the right-handed hitting Andy Leader. So it'll be a righty-righty matchup. Leader 1 for 3. The pitch. Off speed, swung through and missed. Both teams have been very aggressive today on first pitches. The pitch. Off the plate wide, a breaking pitch, and it's 1-1. The Dragons loaded them up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th and couldn't cash. And now Colby has them loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Upstairs, 2-1. So now down in the count, Lane's going to have to make a big-time pitch here at 2-1. He does not want to fall behind with a 3-ball count. Cued off the end of the bat, foul, 2-2. So when needed to, Lane has challenged the Colby batters and won those mini battles. What will he do here, 2-2? Colby's not a team that swings at a ton of bad pitches. Lane comes set, 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging and the inning is over. Dayton Lane steps up, strikes out the side, but in between gives up a double and 2 walks, and Colby leads him loaded in the 8th. We head to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be the middle third of the order. Coming up, Dragons 2 and the Trojans 2. Ryan Morris lead up to bottom of the 8th for Hutchinson, tied 2-2. The Dragons got out of a bases loaded 2-out jam. Dayton Lane with a big strikeout. And now first pitch swing is Ryan Moritz against Bryce Fraser, who's back out for the 8th inning. Moritz looking for his first hit. 0 for 3, a strikeout, a ground out, and reached on a fielder's choice. That's the 107th pitch thrown by Frazier. Pitch number 108. It's a little roller up the middle. Humringhouse gets to it, sets his feet and throws, and there's one away in the Dragon eighth. Not to freak anybody out, but these two teams do have a history of long extra inning games. And Ryan Schmidt's first year in 2013, they went 19 innings. And that was after a 7-inning game. There's Garrett Stevens. One away here in the bottom of the 8th. Base is empty of a 2-2 game. Swing and a miss. So sometimes stats do tell the story and sometimes they don't. They didn't today for Bryce Frazier, who came into the game with 10 walks in his first 15 innings. Pitch taken downstairs for a ball, 1-1.
Do you have any today?
None. The pitch. Upstairs, 2-1. Take that one walk. My apologies. That was the intentional walk to Bobby Morganson. 5 strikeouts for Frazier. 8 hits, 2 earned runs. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Or it's foul to the plate, excuse me. Pitch count now to Frazier up to 112. And there are people in the pen, but nobody throwing for the Trojans. Two-two delivery was looped to right field, but Leader is playing shallow and makes the catch, 2 away. Now Zion Bolin.
The third baseman, number 6, Zion. Bolin.
Zion have a walk-off in him. Bolin with 1 home run this year. He's got pop. First pitch swinging again. He fouls it straight back. Zion 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts and a line out to left field. Strike 2 called. That's a pretty good looking pitch. Right now the difference in this game, an unearned run that was brought on by 2 Dragon errors, one a fielding error, one a throwing error on a stolen base attempt. Pitch out. 116 now. 70 strikes.
A couple of guys stretching in their pen, but that's it.
1-2 Frazier to Bolin. That's fouled off the catcher's mask, and once again, Cameron Tilley is shaken up. Earlier in the game, he took a bat from Logan Sartori on his follow-through. He hung tough, and he's going to do it again here. One and 2 the count to Zion Bolin. Dragons playing in their 2nd extra inning game of the year. Zion lays off that breaking pitch, and it's 2-2. Dragons have left 8 on base. Colby's left 7. Both teams have left the bases loaded once. Both coming in the last couple of innings. 2-2. Got him swinging, and the Dragons go in order in the 8th. We head to the 9th. Dragons 2 and the Trojans 2. Dayton Lane back out for his second full inning. We're going to get a pinch hitter to start the top of the ninth for Colby. First baseman Adam Cook will be pinch hit for by Nick Perez. He's out of Centennial, Colorado, a 6'5", 215-pound freshman. Hitting from the left side, another lefty that Ryan Carter's throwing up out there. First pitch from Lane. Perez went around for strike one. Dayton Lane pitched out of a bases loaded 2-out jam. Struck out the side.
Pratt took game 1, 12-6.
Strike two called. Pratt won game 1 over Seward County 12-6. Garden City leads 7-4. Headed over Cloud County, headed to the 7th. That game in Garden City. Lane bounces that pitch in, and it's 1-2 to Perez. So the Saints dropped their season opener in terms of conference play. They fall to 9-7 overall. 1-2 pitch. Off the plate, 2-2. Pratt, now a game below 500 at 5-6, but they get their first conference win of the year. 2-2 from Lane to Perez. High chopper right side, charging his Nedved. He's got it. Nice easy throw over to Morganson. One away here in the Trojan ninth. There's the catcher, Cameron Tilley. Tilley is 0 for 3. Took a called third in the 7th. Ball one from Dayton. Left-hander Jesse Carr is throwing in the Colby bullpen. I've seen our last of Bryce Frazier. Lane delivers a strike at the knees, and it's 1-1 to Tilley. Breaking pitch, foul back over the press box. Brandon Sams was looking but did not flinch. I want to clarify that. Lane, who works strictly out of the stretch. 1-2 pitch. Hit well to left center field. Divis back at the track, and he chases it down just short of the wall. Tilley actually got a little more of that than I thought. He flies out to the track for out number 2. And now shortstop Riley Humringhouse, 0 for 3. Flew out to center his last time up. Breaking pitch, a beauty from Lane, strike one. Well, Josh and Steve Kapperman and Scott Brooks, Josh Gutra Athletic, are starting to bring the arena to life tonight. There's a fly ball, right center field. Schaefer going over, he's got it, and Lane works a 1-2-3, ninth inning. So it will be Schaefer, Nedved, and Divis, 8-9-1. So we go to the bottom of the ninth. Dragons 2 and the Trojans 2. Colby coach Ryan Carter goes to the bullpen for the first time today, and he brings in left-hander Jesse Carr, 6', 170-pound freshman out of Casper, Wyoming. The numbers on Carr on for the third time, all in relief. A 20.25 earned run average. He has no record. 1 in the third innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. He gets 8, 9, and 1 here in the Dragon ninth. Schaefer, Nedved, and Divis.
Leading off the Blue Dragon ninth, the center fielder number 24, Brock Schaefer.
The Dragons against left-handed pitching this year, hitting .302. Brock Schaefer, 3 for 12 against lefties. Schaefer singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Pitch is a little bit low for ball 1. So both pitchers, starting pitchers, will receive no decisions but pitch tremendous baseball today. Slider in for a strike, and it's 1-1. Schaefer led off the 7th with a single. Was a potential winning run stranded at third. Strike at the knees, 1-2. Dragons loaded them in the 7th with 2 out. Couldn't get anything across. Colby loaded the bases in the 8th, 2 out, and Dayton Lane got a huge strikeout. 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Went away.
He's doing it play-by-play on the internet.
So there's Dylan Nedved, 2 for 3.
Okay, when this is over, where he will be on the end.
Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 1. Dragons about hit Colby 8-5. Right now, those 3 errors looming large. Nedved takes for ball 2. Nedved against lefties, 2 for 11. There's a shot in the left field for a 1-out single. Nedved has a 3-hit game. And he is the potential winning one with Wyatt Divis stepping to the plate.
Wyatt Divis.
That is Nedved's second 3-hit game of the year, which is a season high. Now Div looking for his first hit. He was hit by a pitch in the first, robbed of extra bases by Alex Orenchek in the third. Move over to first, back in safely is Nedved. Nedved 1 for 1 in steals.
Winning runs only 270 feet away, Carter.
The pitch. Upstairs, ball 1. Carr very close to not pausing. See if he changes that up a little bit. Try to keep Nedved off balance at first. This time he does a long pause. Divis takes low for a ball, 2-0. Logan Sartori would be next. It's the right-handed hitting Sartori, and then left-hander Bobby Morganson behind him. So the Dragons back to the top of the order. The pitch. Taking all the way, and it's 3-0 to Divis. Blue Dragon women getting set to take on Pratt. Her Region 6 opener tonight at the Sports Arena. The guys take on Cloud County after that. The pitch. Ball 4. 2 on, and the potential winning run now moves into scoring position for Logan Sartori.
The designated hitter number 1, Logan Sartori.
Sartori 1 for 4. A 4th inning double and a run scored. He had a golden opportunity in the 7th with a drawn-in infield. Went first pitch hacking and hit a weak ground ball to the shortstop Hummeringhouse and wasn't able to advance anybody. Strike at the knees, 0-1. Dragons trying to walk it off for the second game in a row. The pitch. Way outside, 1-1. Zion Bolin had a walk-off fielder's choice in the 6-5 win over Redlands on Tuesday afternoon. Carr comes set. Now the 1-1. Pulled foul. This time Jamel Cervantes fields clean and makes sure that Denny Steckline sees it. I don't think that will be the story on Twitter momentarily. Somehow Mel always comes out on the wrong side of those little battles. Now 1-2. To Sartori the pitch. Little looper right field. That's down for a hit. Rounding third is Nedved. Here comes the throw. It's up the line and the Dragons win it. Logan Sartori, a walk-off single in the bottom of the 9th, and the Dragons take the opener 3-2. And the celebration is on for the second consecutive game. Dragons win it 3-2. We'll wrap it up right after this. Logan Sartori walks the Dragons off for a second straight game. Hutchinson defeats Colby 3-2 in 9 innings. In game number 1 of this 4-game Jayhawk West set, the first 2 was to be played here at Hobart-Detter Field. The remaining 2 will be played Saturday out in Colby. Steve Carpenter back with you. Real quickly, we'll wrap this one up. Totals for this one for the victorious Blue Dragons: 3 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors, and 8 left on base. For Colby, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, 7 left on base. The winning pitcher, Dayton Lane, he is 1-0. Jesse Carr takes the loss. He drops to 0-1. Time of ball game, 2 hours and 13 minutes. Colby take a 1-0 lead in the 4th on a solo home run by Matt Kootenai. The Dragons came right back after Logan Sartori doubled to start the 4th. Bobby Morganson singled him in. Then Garrett Stevens with 2 out singled home Morganson to give the Dragons a 2-1 lead. The Dragons then gave up an unearned run with 2 errors in the 5th inning. That tied it up at 2. The Dragons loaded them up in the 7th. Couldn't get anything done. So we went to extras. Dayton Lane loaded them up after 2 strikeouts in the 8th. He got out of it with a strikeout. Then Lane worked a scoreless 9th. And then in the bottom of the 9th inning, with 1 out, Dylan Nedved singled. Wyatt Dibbs walked to move him up to second. Then Logan Sartori with his first career walk-off. A single over to the second baseman, Enoch Perez's head. That scored Nedved from second, and the Dragons win it 3-2. 2 hits each for Sartori and Morganson. They improved their hitting streaks to 8 and 7 games respectively. 3-hit game for Dylan Nedved, his second of the year. Nobody drove in more than 1 run. Only 1 extra base hit for Hutchinson. That was the double Q shot by Sartori in the 4th. So the Dragons get the opener 3-2 in 9 innings. The second game now will be 7 innings, and we'll have that with you in about 20 minutes. You'll have to change the link on the broadcast page. Game 2 will be on a separate link. So that's going to do it from Hobart-Detter Field. My thanks to Brandon Sams and the crew for providing the hard work getting the telecast. Steve Carpenter from Hobart-Detter Field reminding you the final score: Hutchinson 3, Colby 2. We'll be back with Game 2 in about 20 minutes. Until then, so long, everybody.